Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Cole. Saturday afternoon, March 12th. Now moving into week 2 of Humanities 2333, Philosophy Live for spring 2022 on the second 8-week schedule. Everyone, let me just say a few words. We tried to introduce the course as a whole last week. Let me say a few words about what we've had on the syllabus for the first week of the course and going into the second week next week. Now, we're running a discussion that began today and will continue for 72 hours. Today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So you have until midnight Monday the 14th to post. We ask you to introduce yourself, tell a little bit about yourself in 25 words or less. Hometown, major, interests, career plans, whatever you wish to divulge. And then, everyone, looking at our class notes for Lecture 1, introducing the subject matter, you might mention, I hope you will, try to determine what from that set of notes you find most compelling in the subject matter that we're going to be studying. Okay, so post once, and then again in response to one of your classmates between now, by midnight Monday, either today, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday until midnight Monday. And you can get up to 50 points credit for that. There will be 3 of these during the term, and the best 2 out of 3 will be counted. All right, so the first set of class notes is intended as an introduction to the subject matter. And as I mentioned, it's a difficult body of material to define. Range is very wide, as you will see, I think. And there's quite a bit of material we have to go through in that first set of lecture notes to give you some idea, to cover the waterfront in a bare minimum way, at least, to give you some idea of what this discipline is all about and what our subject matter will be for these few weeks. Now, the other material on the syllabus for last week was the class notes for Lecture 2 on logic, and there were a couple of other documents for you to look at that are posted in the modules area of the course website under Lecture 2, Logic. And here, we're just trying to give you an introduction to what you might study if you were to take a course in logic for an entire term, which you might do if you were at one of the big campuses, big research universities that has a more extensive philosophy department with many, many faculty members as compared to what we have here at OPSU with me, the only faculty member teaching this material. So I'd like to just introduce you to that material. You'll notice there's a large number of rules you could recognize, could memorize, and you might be asked to do so in a full-term course on logic. I'm not going to ask you to do that for the purposes of our course. You will find in one of the note files in the outline or the little PowerPoint presentation that accompanies the class notes, we go through an example of a word problem that you could work in symbolic logic. And it's very similar to working an algebra problem in some respects, but there's a set of rules you would need to be working with. So I want to just expose you to that without requiring you to actually memorize all that stuff or actually do word problems. What is important for our purposes, I think, is informal fallacies. Now, you'll find some material about informal fallacies toward the end of that set of class notes, and there are a couple of other exercises that you can do. There's a website that you can visit. I've given you a link to a site maintained by Texas State University. You can read the material in our textbook having to do with this, and you can do the little exercise that I've posted. Can you spot the informal fallacies? The answers to these are posted at the end of the class notes for Lecture 2. Now, informal fallacies include such things as things you may have heard of: straw man, which some people want to call straw person these days, begging the question, any number of fallacies that may be committed. We find them all the time in politics, in the media, in advertising. Okay, there are informal fallacies everywhere. Sometimes it's a matter of interpretation. to try to figure out which informal fallacies at work, if any. Okay. But it's a good idea to familiarize yourself with these, because they are things that you will encounter. Everyone, once the discussion is over at midnight Monday, we're then going to run a 48-hour extra credit quiz. Okay, 5 items, and you get 3 extra credit points for each one you get correct. And the quiz will run 10 minutes once you start it. There's a link to the quiz, again, under Unit 2 for Logic in the modules area of the course website. So take that quiz after you've looked at that material, and you don't risk losing anything by taking the quiz, but you can get 3 extra credit points for each one of those 5 items you get correct, up to 15 extra credit points. So informal fallacies are something we need to be familiar with, because we encounter them all the time. So for that purpose, we'll ask you to, if you would like, look at that material and take that quiz, and you can earn some extra credit points toward your grade in our course. Now, for the upcoming week, we have on the syllabus only 1 set of notes. Lecture 3 on Plato and Aristotle. That's the only thing on the syllabus for the upcoming week. Okay. Now, these, of course, are 2 people going back 2,500 years or so who were very foundational in our philosophical tradition. So you need to familiarize yourself with what they contributed. They sometimes are portrayed as diametrically opposed to each other, which would be something of an exaggeration. Aristotle was Plato's student, and there are certain respects in which their thinking can be contrasted. There are some facets in which Aristotle deviated from the thinking of Plato. Now, you'll find that in the areas of ethics and politics, they did diverge. But what I would like you to think about and watch for most closely is, how do the two of them differ on the relation between form and matter? Okay. Watch for the issue of the relation between form and matter. How do each of them account for form and matter? And that's perhaps the most important issue between Plato and Aristotle. Now, you'll read about such things as Plato's parable of the cave and of the divided line, and also Aristotle's doctrine of the 4 causes. Be sure to familiarize yourselves with all of that. But perhaps the most important issue is the difference between Plato and Aristotle on the relation between form and matter. Something of the issue that has endured in one way, shape, or form or another in subsequent philosophy. At the end of the month, everybody, you're asked to submit a written assignment on the issue of whether you consider yourself a Platonist or an Aristotelian. So this material we'll be looking at this week will be helpful to you in doing that assignment, which has been posted to the course website in the modules area. So that's something you want to begin taking a look at. Okay, open up the document that describes the assignment. It's not due until the end of the month, but the material you're looking at this week will, of course, be very helpful to you as you attempt to complete that assignment. All right, so that is it for now, everybody. Let me mention once again, beginning Monday the 14th, on the 16-week schedule, we are on spring break. But spring break is not included on the 8-week academic schedule. I mentioned some of you may be taking courses on the 16-week and the 8-week schedule for this week. Contact me on w.edu. So then we have pick up to 15 extra credits, and we'll talk to you the following week. We're going to have an opportunity to pick up some more extra credit. Good luck, study hard.